Welcome back to Chasing News. I'm Bill Spadia. Today in New York City, first day of school. And although they say in America there's no such thing as a free lunch, not the case if you are a student in Bill de Blasio's New York. Free lunch for everyone today. Welcome back to school, kids. In New Jersey, on the other side of the Hudson, there was an incident that happened, speaking of kids in school, where the superintendent in the Randolph School District apologized. Not everybody agrees that it was a full apology, but apologized nonetheless to the students that were impacted by an alcohol test, a blood and urine test, after they determined that kids were drinking in school during a high school football game. This has raised eyebrows everywhere across both. There were 75 kids tested. Fewer than 5 actually tested positive. So she apologized to the kids that did not test positive. I want to bring in an expert to help us dissect this and talk about it. Dr. Jeff Gardier joins us. Dr. Gardier, always good to talk to you on Chasing News. Let me first address the issue with the superintendent's apology. I mean, what did these kids go through that she felt the need to apologize?
Well, certainly the kids who were not guilty of anything and tested negative, they're having anxiety and they're certainly more angry than anything else.
Can you put a little bit of the blame on the parents themselves for not policing the kids before they get to events like this?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, we know this is something that is not uncommon. It does happen. And I think a better way, perhaps this might have been handled, is to alert the parents that there were suspicions or actual proof of drinking going on in the stands, and then sending out a notice to every parent and having them deal with their children instead of blowing it up to something that's extremely expensive and really just kind of really overdid it more than anything else.
All right. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it. Always good to talk to you.
Pleasure.
All right, I want to bring back our panel on this. Mike Donovan, Serena Damaso. Mike, let me start with you. Why shouldn't the school test for alcohol at these events, especially when they know some of the kids are drinking and it is illegal?
Well, there's a difference between the school testing at an event and the school compelling parents to take their kids to hospitals within 2 hours of a belief that there are kids drinking. The draconian measures here are blatant constitutional rights violations. And, you know, the school district should not only apologize, and it should be a real apology, by the way, not one where I say, where the superintendent says I stand up for my administrators. Your administrators were wrong. These kids and these parents were harmed as a result of that wrong. It violated the constitutional rights of the kids. The parents' rights were violated, and it shouldn't have happened. In fact, our organization will fund any lawsuits against the school district. If anyone wants to look us up,
Serena, you hear him saying this, encouraging more potentially frivolous lawsuits, or do you buy into this?
Well, I don't think they should sue anybody, but I do agree that it was a draconian measure. I mean, you can certainly tell if a child's been drinking. I mean, they're not professional, they're just not, they don't drink that way. From what I've read is one beer can rolled out from underneath the stands, and they hauled off 75 kids into a room. If you held those 75 kids and you said to the parents we suspected them of drinking, and let the parents go home and take care of it, and whatever it is.
Do they? I mean, you're a parent, you're a local leader. I mean, haven't parents over the course of years, I've seen this in our hometown, I've seen it across the state of New Jersey, in New York, across the country. Parents seem to have abdicated this responsibility, saying, you test them, you take care of my kids.
I haven't abdicated the responsibility, and most of my friends have not done that. I mean, a lot of my friends, we all stick together, and that's what you have to do. The parent, just like the kids kind of stick together, the parents have to stick together and say, no, we're punishing the kids for this.
You mentioned constitutional rights. That's
Absolutely.
One thing for an adult, age of reason, age of voting, etc. But a kid at some point, I mean, there's got to be a balance between a right that a kid has and a right that a parent has.
Sure, there's a balance, but the Supreme Court
they didn't give them away.
They haven't given. The Supreme Court has upheld the constitutional rights of children. In this case, the government came after their blood. Anyone watching this who thinks that this is okay, I don't even understand what your concept of being an American is. The idea of the government coming and taking these kids' blood to see who was drinking, hey, I got news for you. Kids drink alcohol. It's kind of a thing. And the idea of the government coming and taking blood from these kids, absolutely ridiculous.
So you just threw down the Patriot card? I want to ask you
Absolutely.
this. You threw that down, but isn't it the parents that started this? I mean, I hate to use the term slippery slope, but come on. They've been testing kids before they get into the prom. They test them at high school dances. Yeah. The parents have been letting this happen for years. What are they surprised about?
You know, that may be true, but you know, here's the thing. You're a conservative. It's one of the things I like about you. I don't always agree with you, but you're a conservative. Here's the thing. A conservative approach to this is to expect the parents to do this job. And the idea of having the government come in and do this job for them is so completely wrong. And it's wrought for abuses, just like this one. The idea that the government is going to test, breathalyze kids, pull kids together and say, hey, parents, we think your kid might have been drinking. You get to a place where the government is taking the blood of children within 2 hours of the end of a football game.
Vampire government, huh? All right, I got to leave it there.
Government.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Serena. I got to wrap out of this and get to Dan Zarrow with your weather.